Rejoice, my friends, and raise your goblets of mead in a toast to victory, for we have slain the evil dragon that is Wizards of the Coast. That's right. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and if this article is to be believed, Wizards of the Coast cancels plans to deauthorize Dungeons & Dragons OGL 1.0. Give yourselves a round of applause. This is how you do it. This is how you fight with your wallet, you fight with your words, and you take down these big corporations that want to denigrate, desecrate, and destroy what we've loved and built for so long. Now, this is only a small victory. We obviously still have plenty more to go. Dungeons & Dragons may be safe for now. However, Magic the Gathering is still absolutely on the rocks. I mean, $300 for, 60 card booster packs with the new mini March of the Machines, block. Yeah, there's more to do, but let's take this victory, and let's also actually appreciate Wizards of the Coast for backing down. Let's go through here. Wizards of the Coast cancels plans to deauthorize OGL 1.0A after immense backlash from fans since attempting to change its rules for D&D creators. Wizards of the Coast, wotc, officially declared the original Dungeons & Dragons open gaming license OGL will not be deauthorized. The developer walked back plans to deauthorize OGL 1.0A in favor of new license, which would give them greater control over third-party creators. Posting to Twitter, the company stated, "Over the past few weeks, you, the community, have made your voices heard, and we've listened. OGL 1.0A will remain untouched, and the entire SRD 5.1 is now available under a Creative Commons license." A blog post on D&D Beyond detailed plans further. And here is their Twitter post saying so. The quote that I just read is here, as well as an image stating, "We are leaving OGL 1.0A in place as is untouched. We're also making the entire SRD 5.1A available under a Creative Commons license. You choose what you prefer to use." And you know what? Like I said, we put the pressure on them, and if anything, I may actually go see the D&D movie in theaters now. I was going to boycott the film in effort to, get this taken care of, to force their hand, but I may go see it now. I'm still going to hold off. It's still, about a month and a half out from release, closer to 2 months out from release. There's still time for Wizards to absolutely screw up. There's still time for Hasbro to absolutely screw up, but as it currently stands, I am more in the camp of, let's go ahead and watch it, because I do think it can be a fun theatrical experience, fun for fans, nerds, everyone to get together and see. A good introduction to D&D for normies. That being said, I also want to make sure we all said, hey, we're going to support these smaller RPG companies. We're going to get down with the Kobold new open gaming license, Pathfinder, all these other smaller tabletop RPGs. Stick with that. Don't throw those little guys under the bus just because D&D gave in. We want to support, other companies that might be able to give us something more, something we should love. Plus, it's just good to support smaller creative avenues, whether it's a Kickstarter for a tabletop RPG that sounds interesting, or one of the big boys but still not near as big as, D&D like Pathfinder. It's important that we give all sides their due, and if they're going to go forward and continue to try and be better than D&D, well, let's support a better product. But let's take our victories where we can get them and continue with the article. As for how the walkback impacts wotc's plans to control what content third-party creators can make for D&D, Dungeons & Dragons, executive producer Kyle Brink said, "We wanted to protect the D&D play experience in the future. We still want to do that with your help. We're grateful that this community is passionate and active because we'll need your help protecting the game's inclusive and welcoming nature. We wanted to limit the OGL to TTRPGs. With this new approach, we're setting that aside and counting on your choices to define the future of play." That, if you watched my previous video or shorts or anything talking about the morality clause, the reason that the new OGL was absolute garbage, it was because they had the right to, at any point, for any reason, decide what was considered hateful, what was considered discriminatory, and they could strike it, they could remove it, they could ban you, all these awful, nasty things, and it was up to their subjective decision as to what was right, what was wrong, what was discriminatory, what was hateful, and that's not okay. No large governing body should get the right to decide what is and isn't any of those heinous things. We all know bad things when we see it. We all know racism when we see it. We all know sexism when we see it. And yeah, there's some nuance for how far you can let things go. Is it racist to have dark elves always be bad guys because, that's traditionally how their species is written? No, I don't think it is. But you know what? If you think it is, then play with a play group that just agrees with that same sensibility. And I think that we, having the choice, having the decisions, getting to decide what is and isn't okay, what is and isn't hateful, that's the way it should be. It should be up to the player, and we as a community get to collectively or individually in our own little play groups decide what is and isn't okay. You're not going to catch Critical Role going out being racist to their millions of fans. It's just not going to happen. But if, Joe Blow White Supremacist is playing D&D with his Grand Wizard KKK member in, Southern Alabama, if it's just their little, I don't know how many KKK members play D&D, but I'm sure they're out there. If they're going to do that in their little community, in their basement, then yeah, I think they have the right to do it, as long as maybe they're getting all that racism out in the game and not taking it to the real world and actually murdering people of color. And isn't that a better option? Again, there are going to be individuals out there that are going to do hateful and discriminatory things in the game. That's just part of it. You ever popped on Fallout and gone for the absolute bad guy route? It's not something you would ever do in real life. You're not going to just go start mowing down civilians and whatnot in real life, but it's something, you're in a fake world, you're living, some sort of fantasy, and yeah, it's escapism. It's not my style of play. I can't ever bring myself to play a bad guy, whether it be D&D, video games where you choose your own adventure, whatever. I can't stomach it. I feel awful. But for those that want to, that's why games like this exist, to live out those sort of fantasies. And I love the fact that they are acknowledging that the decision is up to us, the players, because there's a million different players out there with a million different play styles. And by trying to benefit one subsect, you're going to ostracize another. Leaving it up to everyone to just do their own thing gives at least more of a chance for everyone to do what they want and be part of a community they love. And again, I've been a major detractor of WotC for years, and I'm still going to be a major detractor of WotC when it is necessary, but I will give credence here for this being a good move. I will say thank you, you've listened to the fans, but make sure you stay on that track. The WotC controversy and Dungeons & Dragons OGL. Earlier this month, WotC's updated OGL leaked online. Allegedly, several third-party content creators who manufacture D&D supplies under the original OGL received the update with an attached contract to sign. Though WotC refers to the leaked document as a draft, the new OGL would severely limit what businesses can produce, add massive royalties to those making over $750,000, and open the door to WotC manufacturing and selling third-party creators' products as its own. Wizards of the Coast's official D&D resource, D&D Beyond's initial response to fan outcry over the update caused players to declare they'd jump ship to other tabletop RPGs like Pathfinder. WotC eventually backtracked on several inclusions in the OGL update, including royalties and the open window to make and sell products from third-party creators. Most recently, the company insisted it would still deauthorize OGL 1.0a, but replace it with a Creative Commons license. Wizards of the Coast's updated Creative Commons with the Systems Reference Document, SRD, are available to read from the D&D Beyond blog post. And, again, I just want to take this time for all of us to celebrate. Let's dance! Alrighty, dancing aside, we've done it. This should be a lesson, not just for us. To all fans out there, are you upset with Star Wars and what Disney's doing to the current Star Wars, lore and modern versions? Vote with your wallet and vote with your words like we've done here. Yeah, Disney's powerful. They're going to claim you're trolls. They're going to claim that you're, racist or misogynistic. Or, you don't like strong women in power. That's not the case. We want things we love, that we've loved for years, to stay as they are, to stay what we love. That doesn't mean there can't be new things, but the new things have to coincide with the values and what we have grown to love from that property. It can be movies, it can be video games, Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop games like this. Just make sure you fight it. Don't accept the status quo. Don't say, well, Disney's too big of a company, can't fight them. We thought the same thing about Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, but we decided to go against them anyway. We decided to roll our D20s and pull out our +4 mace and go to battle against this company, and we won. They listened. Will every battle be like this? No, we will not always get what we want, but in this instance we did, and I think this should give hope to all sorts of fans and creators out there, whether you're part of the tabletop RPG space or not. Are you an indie developer for a video game and you're afraid of fighting against the big boys? Don't matter. Put that game out there. Again, Star Wars fan, fight against things like the woke modern ideologies in Star Wars that have been ruining the franchise. It's not even that. Just bad storytelling has been ruining the franchise. Fight for better stories to be told. I could go on and on with lists and lists of different programs, franchises, whatever you want to call them. Marvel's another big offender. But this is proof it can be done, and proof us fans still retain some modicum of control as long as we vote with our wallets. But that's all I've got for you. Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Please check out the back catalog. If you're not familiar with this controversy, I've got an entire playlist about Wizards of the Coast news that can catch you up. And please do subscribe. I cover nerdy news all the time, such as Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering, Star Wars, Marvel, you name it. You can find it here in the nerdosphere. I cover other aspects of the political pop culture as well, so check out the back catalog for things like talking about Beyonce maybe being anti-LGBT, or the controversy between Paramore and NoFX. It's all here in the nerdosphere, but until next time, this has been Words of Paradise.